We continue to give you the very latest details as we get it on rescue operations, relief operations, efforts at extricating the bodies from the wreckage of this horrific train disaster which struck at about 6:50 p.m. last night in Balasore in Odisha. These images really give you an idea of the extent of this tragedy. There were 3 trains which were involved over here. One of those was a train which was headed to Chennai from Shalimar in West Bengal, not too far from Howrah. The other one was headed from Bengaluru up to Howrah. There was a third train as well, a goods train, which was stationary. Now, in this footage over here, we are unable to identify where the goods train actually was located. But as you can see, there was a massive collision which took place. And as we understand it, the Coromandel Express struck a stationary goods train. That's preliminary information, as a result of which a part of the bogies, they fell on the other side, or it moved to the other side, and from the opposite direction there was another train, the train going northeast, in other words the train from Bengaluru to Howrah, which struck it. So there was a collision happening involving 3 trains, 2 passenger trains and 1 goods train which was stationary. So a lot of questions are now in the process of being asked about how exactly this happened. Very preliminary information suggests that there was a loop line on which the Coromandel Express was actually placed. Whether that was a mistake or other, we don't know at this stage. Presumably that was a mistake, if indeed it was put on a loop line. But there was a stationary goods train over there which the Coromandel Express struck, and then there was a train coming in the opposite direction, and that was a train from Bengaluru, the Sir Vishweshwaraya Express. And that's when another collision took place. So 3 trains involved over there. 238 people at the very least have lost their lives. 900 people are injured, many of them very, very badly. So let me just explain it through maps. Firstly, let's look at this map. This is the Sir Vishweshwaraya Bengaluru Howrah Superfast Express. This is a train which departed Bengaluru. It was called the Jajpur Express earlier on, but it's now the Vishweshwaraya Express, and it goes via Tirupati, Bhubaneswar. Balasore is where the accident took place. There were 4 other stops before it actually arrived at its destination, which sadly it never did because of the crash which took place in Balasore. And this is the Coromandel Express. It's one of the most important sort of passenger trains in the country, a major train service between West Bengal and Chennai. It departs Shalimar. That's not too far away from the very well-known Howrah station. It struck the other train and the goods train, as we understand it, in Balasore. What is taking place now is that from Balasore back to Howrah and Shalimar, very close. I mean, they're co-located, as I understand it. From Balasore, there are about 1,200 survivors of this accident who are now being taken back to Howrah. We don't know when that relief train, with the 2 trains in fact, when that relief trains, they actually reach Howrah. About 1,200 survivors over there. But in terms of that crash site itself, let's go back to that footage of that crash site. 238 people have lost their lives, 900 injured, and these images really give you an idea of the spread, of the extent. A lot of the trains derailed over there. This is one of the primary crash sites over there. Rescue personnel now in the process of extricating remains of those who did not make it. The chances of finding any survivors is very, very remote at this stage. This is an absolutely horrific scene. It took place shortly before 7 p.m. Last night, and rescuers have been working. The army has also been called in with their ambulances, and also I think at this stage medical aid is so very important, because a lot of the survivors of this were taken to many hospitals in the area. The ambulance services, we are told, worked out really, really well, and these ambulances took a lot of the survivors to hospitals across that entire region. So that's what the situation is.